Hello, welcome back students to DSCJ's home classes. Last time we started solution chapter, that is second chapter of chemistry, and we did different concentration terms. Some have been left. So next concentration term is mole fraction. Mole fraction. Now what is mole fraction? It is Firstly, this mole fraction is represented by a symbol which is known as chi. It is similar to that of capital X, and mole fraction may be defined as fraction of number of moles of a constituent particle in a given solution, or mathematically if you have to find, because we deal with binary solution. So in a binary solution we have two components, that is solute and solvent. If we want to find out mole fraction of solute, it is represented by chi b. Then according to the definition, because I told you that it is a fraction of number of moles of a constituent particle or component in a given solution. So mole fraction of solute chi b is equal to ratio of number of moles of solute to the total number of moles of solution, that is both solvent and solute. Or you can write here, because we know that number of moles is equal to mass upon molar mass. So we can also write here like Wb upon Mb upon Wa upon Ma plus Wb upon Mb. Similarly, mole fraction of solvent is represented by chi A, and it is equal to Ma, that is number of moles of solvent, upon total number of moles in the solution, which is equal to number of moles of solvent and solute. And it can also be written as Wa upon Ma divided by Wa upon Ma plus Wb upon Mb. One important thing is that in any solution, whether that is a binary solution, ternary solution or quaternary solution, the sum of mole fraction of all the components is always unity. But as we deal with binary solution, so we can write here, in general, for binary solution, chi A plus chi B is always equal to 1. Using this relation, if you know the mole fraction of any one component, you can easily find out the mole fraction of other component. For example, if you know the mole fraction of solute, then you can find out the mole fraction of solvent using this relation, 1 minus chi B. Now since it is a ratio between number of moles of a component to the total number of moles of solution or moles present in a solution, so it has no unit, that is, this is a unitless quantity. No unit. Now next term is similar to this mole fraction. We have another term, that is mass fraction. This mass fraction is represented by small x. It is represented by chi, but here mass fraction is represented by x. And it is as mole fraction is a fraction of number of moles, but here we have a term mass fraction, so it is the fraction of mass of a component to the or mass of a component in a given solution. So I write directly the mathematical form of this mass fraction. Mass fraction of a solute in a binary solution, that is XB, is equal to ratio of mass of solute to the total mass of solution, which is equal to WA plus WB, because we deal with binary solution. And mass fraction of a solvent XA is equal to WA upon WA plus WB. Here also mass fraction of both the components is equal to 1. Again, this is a unitless quantity. Both these terms, that is mole fraction as well as mass fraction, both are, I already told you that we have different concentration terms, which some are temperature dependent and some are temperature independent. As both of these terms do not involve volume, so both are temperature independent terms. That means when we change the temperature, these two terms remains constant. If we multiply this mass fraction with 100, then it will give you mass percentage of both solute as well as solvent, because here mass percentage is the mass of solute upon total mass into 100. Here also if you multiply this expression with 100, then you get mass percentage of solvent. Now student, next term is parts per million, which is designated by symbol ppm. Now what do you mean by parts per million? First important thing is that this is used in case of very dilute solutions. That is solutions in which solute is in small amount and solvent is in excess, or water is in excess amount. So it is used whenever solute is in very small amount, then we use the term parts per million for expressing the concentration of that solution. Now how will you define this parts per million? It may be defined as the amount of solute present in 1 million parts of solution. This part may be in terms of mass or it may be in terms of volume. Accordingly, ppm can be represented in 3 ways. That is mass by volume, volume by volume, and mass by mass ppm. It means when we take mass by volume, it means it is the amount of solute in grams present in 1 million parts by volume of solution. In this case, it is the volume of solute present in 1 million parts by volume of solution. And in this case, W by W, that is mass by mass ppm, it may be defined as amount or mass of solute present in 1 million parts by mass of solution. When we say 1 million, it means 10 raised to power 6. So it is somewhat similar to that of percentage. Now you can write the general formula. ppm, whether we represent W by V or V by V or W by W. In short, we can say it is the mass of solute, or you can say W or V or W of solute upon volume or mass of solution into 10 raised to power 6. So this is the general expression for expressing the ppm of solute in terms of mass by volume, volume by volume or mass by mass. Generally, this parts per million is used for expressing the concentration of rock salt or NaCl in sea water, because you know that in sea water rock salt or NaCl is present in less amount, because sea is very vast, and in that case rock salt acts as a, or it is present in small amount. So in that case we find out the concentration of NaCl in seawater using ppm. Similarly, in order to measure the concentration of pollutants in atmosphere or air, we use the term ppm, because like pollutant like SO2, etc. Similarly, we can use this ppm for finding the concentration of fluoride in toothpaste. You know that in a toothpaste generally fluoride ions are present, but excess of fluoride ions are harmful for us, so they are in the trace amount, and for expressing its concentration we generally use ppm. You can also notice this on the tube of that toothpaste. There must be written fluoride concentration in ppm. So this is all about parts per million. Since it is a ratio, so it is also a unitless quantity. There is one term, concentration term, which is mostly asked in a competitive exam, that is dmol, represented by D. Sometimes question like 1 dmol is equal to, or 1 dmol can be expressed in, and we have 4 different options. So dmol means it is the number of moles of solute in 1 liter of solution at 0 degree Celsius. Whenever we represent molar concentration of solute at 0 degree Celsius, or you can also say whenever number of moles of solute in 1 liter of solution can be expressed at 0 degree Celsius, that particular term is known as dmol. So students, we finished all the concentration terms. Now we will move towards numericals. But before doing the numericals, first of all I will write a shortcut formula for all the concentration terms that we learned in the previous lecture. First we did percentage. Whether that is a mass by mass or mass by volume or volume by volume percentage. If you see their formula, then what is the formula? It is the, if it is mass by mass, W V upon W V. This is of solute of solution into 100. Second, we did molarity, which is represented by capital M, and capital M is equal to number of moles of solute present per liter of solution, or it is WB upon MB into volume in liters. Third, you did strength, which is represented by S. It is mass of solute present per liter of solution, VL. One more relation I told you, that is the relation between strength and molarity, and it is strength is equal to molarity into molecular mass or molar mass. Then fourth is molality, which is represented by small m, and it is equal to number of moles of solute present in 1 kg of solvent. Or you can write here WB upon MB into WA if it is in kg. Then normality, which is represented by capital N, and it is equal to number of gram equivalent of solute present per liter of solution. And I told you that number of gram equivalent is equal to mass of solute upon equivalent mass into volume in liters, and equivalent mass is equal to molecular mass of solute upon either acidity or basicity, which is generally represented or written as N factor upon volume in liter. Now this N factor, it may be acidity for bases, basicity for acids, then for salts, number of positive ions, and so on. Then we have parts per million. ppm, which is also mass by volume, volume by volume, or mass by mass, and it is equal to mass or volume or mass of solute upon volume or mass of solution into 100 into 10 raised to power 6. Then we have another term, formality, represented by capital F, and it is similar to molarity. It is equal to number of moles or 4 moles present per liter of solution, and number of 4 moles is equal to mass of solute upon formula mass. solute into volume in liters. Percentage molarity strength. So I think this is all. Next is mole fraction. Represented by chi, and it is equal to number of moles of a component, it may be solute or solvent, upon total number of moles present in the solution. Then similarly we have mass fraction. Represented by x, and its general formula is mass of any component, that is it may be solvent or it may be solute, upon total mass of solution. One more thing, I told you about a relation between normality and molarity. So 10th, that is the relation between normality and molarity. It is normality is equal to molarity into n factor, which I told you above, this n factor. This is also important. Another relation is, that is normality equation, which we use in numericals. Normality equation, that is n1 v1 is equal to n2 v2. I will explain you with the help of numerical. And 12th one is molarity equation. It is m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. If we have to prepare dilute solution or solution of any concentration from given concentrated solution, and another molarity equation, sometimes we have a balanced equation. In that case we use this type of equation, that is m1 v1 upon n1 equal to m2 v2 upon n2, where n1 and n2 are number of concentration term, or you can say stoichiometry coefficients. Coefficients in a balanced equation. Then 14th is, sometimes we mix two different acids of different normality, and they may or may not have same value. Then what is the resultant? What is the normality of resultant solution? For that we use another formula, like n1 v1 plus n2 v2 is equal to n3 v1 plus v2. Similarly, if it is in molarity, then m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to m3 v1 plus v2. Now students, you must note this table of formulas, because we will use these formulas in the numericals, and it is not possible for you to mug up all the lengthy formulas, so you must keep in mind these formulas. So students, on the basis of above formulas, we will do some numericals by which your concept is clear. First numerical is, a decimolar solution of H2SO4 and water is prepared. Then find normality and strength of solution. This is the simplest numerical. So first of all, what do? It has been mentioned here, decimolar solution. It means, molar means molarity of solution is given, and that is decimolar, means 10 raised to power minus 1 molar. Or it is, or you can say concentration of solution is given, which is 10 raised to power minus 1 molar or 1 by 10 molar. Secondly, it has been given that solution is of H2SO4 and water. That means solute is H2SO4 and solvent is water. Now when we say decimolar solution or 1/10 molar solution of H2SO4 in water, it means number of moles of H2SO4 is 1/10 moles present in, because definition of molarity is number of moles of solute present in 1 liter volume of solution. So it means number of moles of H2SO4 is 1/10 and volume of solution is 1 liter, or you can write here 1000 milliliters or cc, cubic centimeter. Now you have to find out normality and strength. You know that this number of moles is equal to mass upon molar mass, WB upon MB, and WB is not given to you, but molar mass of H2SO4 is 98. You can calculate. From this, you can find out WB upon 98 is equal to 1/10, or WB is equal to 98/10, or it is equal to 9.8 grams. So we know the mass of solute, which is equal to 9.8 gram. Now for finding out the strength, firstly we find out strength or strength. I told you that strength is equal to WB upon V in liters. Now WB is 9.8 and VL is given to you, that is 1 liter. So your strength is 9.8 grams per liter. So first answer is 9.8 grams per liter. Now second is normality. I told you the shortcut formula of normality is equal to molarity into N factor. And in this case, because solute is H2SO4, that means its N factor is equal to number of H positive ion given by this sulfuric acid, or you can say basicity of this sulfuric acid. And since in this case we have 2 H, so its basicity is 2. That means normality is equal to, molarity is given to you, that is 1/10 or 10 raised to the minus 1, or you can write here 0.1 molarity into N factor is 2. So your answer is 0.2 normal, or you can also write here, because normal unit for normality is gram equivalent per liter. So this is your second answer. So students, it is so simple. Firstly, you have to write down all the things which is given in the question, and then from that you have to find out which is solute, which is solvent, and thereby then you will find out the normality and strength or other concentration terms. Students, our next numerical is 2 molar solution of urea in water is prepared and its density is 1.2 grams per cc. Then we have to find out molality of the solution. So first of all, you have to write down all the things which is given in the question. So you have given 2 molar solution, that is 2 molar solution. 2 molar solution means 2 moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution. Now for simplicity, you make a table for solute, solvent and then solution. Now what is given for solute? Number of moles, which is 2 moles. Then for solution it is volume, which is 1 liter. Now read the question again. 2 molar solution, and here solute is urea. Solute is urea and solvent is water. Density of solution is given to you. That is, density is equal to 1.2 grams per cc. I told you earlier that cc is similar to milliliters. So you can also write this volume as 1000 cc or milliliter. This is all. Now when you know density, you know that density is equal to mass upon volume. Volume is given to you, density is given to you. You can easily find out the mass of solution. So W of solution means mass of solution. It is equal to density into volume. Density is 1.2 grams per cc and volume is 1000 cc. This cc and cc cuts out and you have this 0.2 cancels out this 0 and you have 1200 grams of solution. Here you have 1200 grams of mass of solution, that is 1200 gram. Now move towards solute side. You have been provided number of moles of solute, that is 2, and we know that number of moles is equal to mass upon molar mass, which is equal to 2. Molar mass of urea is 60. So we can easily find out the mass of solute, which comes out to be 2 into 60, that is 120 gram. Now you know the mass of solute as well as mass of solution. Then you can easily find out the mass of solvent, which is equal to solution minus mass of solution minus mass of solute. That is 1200 minus 120 gram. And it comes out to be 1080 gram. Now you know the mass of solvent. We have to find out the molality, and we know that molality, which is represented by small m, it is equal to number of moles of solute, that is NB, or you can write here, you can write directly number of moles of solute present per kg of solvent. Number of moles of solute is given to you, that is 2, and mass of solvent is 1080, but this is in kg, so you have to convert this one. When we convert 1000, 1.08 kg. So after solving this, you have 200 divided by 108. This is the molality of, you can write the unit moles per kg, or you can solve it and you will get the answer 1.85. Either you write molar m or you can write here as moles per kg. In this way, when you make this table like solute, solvent, solution, you can easily find out the any concentration term of the given numerical. That is 4% mass by mass solution of NaOH in water is prepared. If the density of solution is 1.5 grams per cc, then you have to find out all the concentration term, that is molarity, molality, mole fraction, normality and strength. This is very, very important because in this numerical everything is covered. And if you are able to solve this, then you can easily solve any numerical. Now, what you have to do? Firstly, you form a table. Solute, solvent. This is the easy way to solve any numerical. Solution. Now it is given 4% weight by weight solution. It means here firstly solute is NaOH, solvent is water, and mixture of both is the solution NaOH plus water. Now 4% weight by weight solution. It means 4, because it is mass by mass percentage in terms of mass by mass. It means 4 grams of solute is present in 100 grams of solution. Because I told you that mass by mass percentage is the amount of solute in grams present in 100 grams of solution. So mass of solute is 4 gram. Mass of solution is 100 gram according to the definition of percentage. Also, density of solution is given to you. Density, it is equal to 1.5 gram per cc. You have to, because we know that density is equal to mass upon volume. We know density, we know mass. We can easily find out the volume of solution, which is equal to mass of solution upon density of solution. Now mass is 100 gram and density is 1.5 gram per cc. Per cc means we can move it in the numerator, or you can also write here instead of cc you can write milliliters. This 0.5 this decimal is cancelled out and we have 1000 upon 15. Gram and gram cancels out and we have this much milliliters of solution. Or you can convert it into liters by dividing with 1000. So you have 1 by 15 liters of solution volume. Now mass of solute is 4 gram, mass of solution is 100 gram. Therefore mass of solvent, it comes out to be 100 minus 4, that is 96 gram. Since this is NaOH, its molecular mass is 40. So you can find out number of moles of solute is mass upon molar mass, that is 4 upon 40, or it is equal to 1 by 10. Or you can write here 0.1 moles. Now, but we have to find out molarity. Firstly, molarity. Molarity. We know that molarity is number of moles of solute present per liter of solution. So number of moles of solute is 0.1, or you can write here 1 by 10 into volume in liters. This is volume in liters, that is 1 by 15. Volume is 1 by 15, so we write like 1 and 15 goes towards numerator. So you have 1.5 molar, or you can write moles per liter. So this is your first question, that is molarity. Now molality. We know that molality is equal to number of moles of solute present per kg of solvent. Now we know that here this is in grams. If you convert it into kg, then 96 upon 1000 kg, or you write here, or you can write here 0.096 kg. So number of moles is again 0.1 or 1 by 10 upon WA. That is, I will write here in the form 1 by 10 because it is easy for us to solve. That is 96 upon 1000. So you have 100 by 96 moles per kg. You can solve it. Now third is mole fraction. Here nothing is mentioned. Whenever nothing is mentioned for mole fraction, it means mole fraction of solute. But if it is specifically mentioned that you have to find out the mole fraction of solvent, then you can also find out mole fraction of solvent. For mole fraction, we must know number of moles of solute as well as solvent. So number of moles of solute we know that. Now what is the number of moles of solvent? Here solvent is water and molecular mass of solvent is whenever we find out the number of moles, we use mass in grams. So this is the mass 96 gram upon molar mass. Molar mass of water is Ma is equal to 18. So this is the number of moles of solvent water. You can simplify this. This is 16 by 3. So mole fraction, that is, if you find out mole fraction of this solute, Xp is equal to number of mole fraction of solute upon total number of mole. That is Na plus Nb, and Nb is 0.1 upon, and this is number of moles of solvent is 16 by 3 plus 1 by 10 or 0.1. You can write in either way, and you can easily find out this. Suppose it is A, and you have to find out mole fraction of solvent. It is equal to 1 minus chi B, because I told you that sum of mole fraction of all the components, that is chi A plus chi B, is equal to 1. So it is equal to 1 minus A, which you calculate above here, and suppose it is B. So in this way you find out another term, that is mole fraction. Now next is normality. So we find out molarity, mole fraction. Next is normality. We know that normality is equal to molarity into n factor. I told you n factor may be acidity, basicity or valency. Here we take NaOH. Solute is NaOH, that is a base. So, and this base has acidity equal to, for NaOH, we know that acidity is equal to 1 because it releases only one OH group. So it is equal to normality, which we earlier normality is equal to molarity into n factor, and molarity is 1.5 moles per liter into n factor is 1 here, so normality is also 1.5. Either you write here normal or you write here gram equivalent per liter. Now last one is strength. For strength, I also told you the shortcut formula, that is molarity into molar mass. Molarity is 1.5 moles per liter into molar mass of NaOH is 40. So you can find here 15. You cancel out this decimal with this 0, and we have 15 into 4. 60 grams per liter. So in this way, with the help of this small table, you can easily find out any concentration term. And this numerical is very helpful for finding out any concentration term or other numericals likewise. So students, this is the most important question for entrance exam. I told you about some relations like N1 V1 equal to N2 V2. Similarly, M1 V1 equal to M2 V2. Then N1 V1 plus N2 V2 is equal to N3 V1 plus V2. Similarly, for molarity, M1 V1 plus M2 V2 is equal to M3 V1 plus V2. I use this numerical in which all these formulas have been used. We can apply these formulas here. And this is very important in the entrance exam. Mostly this type of question has been asked. Now what is the question? Calculate the normality of solution obtained by mixing. First case is 100 cc of 0.2 normal H2SO4 with 50 cc of 0.1 normal HCl. In the second case, it is 100 cc of 0.1 normal H2SO4 with 100 cc of 0.2 normal NaOH. Then in the third case again, acid with base. So the point which is very important is that in these two cases, we mix acid with base, and whenever acid is mixed with base, neutralization takes place. So these two are almost same. But in this case, we mix acid with acid. But both acids are different. They have different concentration. One has 0.2 normality, another has 0.1 normal. One has volume 100 cc and another is 50 cc. There is fourth possibility also when you mix two different bases of different concentration. But that case is similar to the first one. So I discuss only these three. So first case. One acid is H2SO4 and another is HCl. Suppose we take first acid as 1, then we have normality N1 equal to 0.2 normal. Volume for this case is 100 cc. This is 0.2 normal, 100 cc. And for second acid, case second, that is for HCl, we have normality N2 equal to 0.1 normal and volume equal to 50 cc. Likewise, if you have two different bases, you can calculate in the same manner, normality and volume. And we use here this formula, N1 V1 equal to N2 V2. We know that applying normality equation, that is N1 V1 equal to we here apply this equation, not this one. Why? Because here we have to find out the normality of solution obtained by mixing. That means if you have this, this is for first solution, this is for second solution, and we have to find out this N3. This, so you can write here applying normality equation, that is N1 not or you can say applying formula N1 V1 plus N2 V2 is equal to N3 V1 plus V2. Now these two are the components, or these two are the acids which are mixed together and a new acid is formed, or a resultant solution is formed whose normality changes. That means you have to find out this N3. Firstly, substitute these values. N1 is 0.2 into volume is 100 cc plus N2 is 0.1 into volume is 50 cc. It is equal to N3, which we have to find out, into V1 plus V2. V1 is 100 plus V2 is 50. So you have to find out this 2 by 10. That means these two cancel. So it is 20 plus this and this cancels out. So you have 5 is equal to N3 into 150, or N3 here is equal to 25 upon 150. So you have 1/6 normal answer. That means when you mix two different acids having different concentration as well as different volumes, the resulting mixture so formed has normality comes out to be 1/6 normal, and you can apply this formula here. Similarly, sometimes if you are provided with not normality, you are provided with molarity, you can apply here this formula M1 V1 plus M2 V2 is equal to M3 V1 plus V2, and easily you can find out the molarity of the resultant mixture. This is for two acids. We can also take two different bases. If you are provided with two different bases and you have to find out the concentration of the resulting mixture, then again you apply this formula, and in this way two similar acids or not acids, two similar components, that is acid or base can be calculated, or their concentration can be calculated using this formula. The problem is with these two because these are different from the first one. Now this second part. Now here one acid is mixed with a base, and whenever acid and bases are mixed together, neutralization takes place. Neutralization always takes place when we mix together equal or same equivalents of acid with base, then neutralization takes place. But here the concentration of acid as well as base is not same. It is 0.1 normal, it is 0.2 normal. Although their volumes are same, but their concentration is different. So what happens whenever you mix an acid with a base whose concentration is not same, then firstly we have to find out, because it is in terms of normality, so we have to find out number of gram equivalents, because it is a fact that equal number of gram equivalent of an acid and base will neutralize each other. So we have to find out the number of gram equivalent. You know that normality is equal to number of gram equivalent per liter of solution. Here what is given? Volume. That is, you are provided with this volume, and normality is given to you. You are provided with this normality as well as this 1 liter or volume of solution. Now you can easily find out number of gram equivalent by cross multiplying these two. So in this case, one more thing, whenever, this is very important, if you understand this point, it is very clear. This numerical is very easy for you. Normality is the number of gram equivalents present in 1 liter of solution. When volume is not in liters, it is in cc. In cc of solution, then this number of gram equivalents is replaced by the term number of milli equivalents. Now in our question, the volume is in cc. That means we find out number of milli equivalent. So number of milli equivalents for H2SO4, because here we have acid, sulfuric acid and base NaOH. So number of milli equivalent for H2SO4, it is equal to, I told you it is equal to normality into this. Normality into volume. Normality is 0.1 into volume is 100 cc. So it comes out to be 10 milli equivalent. Similarly, number of milli equivalent for NaOH, it is again normality of this base, which is 0.2 into volume, that is 100 cc. These two cancels out and we have 20 milli equivalent of base. Now from here, you know that you observe that H2SO4 has 10 milli equivalent, whereas NaOH has 20 milli equivalents. And from the definition of neutralization, which you studied in your 11th class, that neutralization is that process in which equal or same equivalent of an acid will combine with the same equivalent of base to form salt or salt and water. So here it is 10, it is 20. When you mix together these two, acid and base, since this is an excess amount, 20 milli equivalents, only 10 milli equivalents of this base is used and 10 remains as such. As a result, number of milli equivalents of NaOH left behind is equal to 20. It is equal to 10 because there is 20 milli equivalent of NaOH and 10 of H2SO4. For neutralization of H2SO4, 10 milli equivalent of NaOH is used and 10 left over. So 10, it is equal to 10 milli equivalents. Now, as I told you that normality, because you have to find out the normality of solution obtained by mixing these two. When we mix together, 10 milli equivalent of both these are used and only 10 milli equivalent of this NaOH is left over. As a result, normality of the resulting mixture is, according to this formula, it is equal to number of milli equivalents present in the solution, which is 10 milli equivalent upon volume in cc. Then therefore total volume, or you write here total volume of mixture, that is H2SO4 plus NaOH. It is 100 cc this and 100 cc this, that is 100 plus 100. It is equal to 200 cc. So, therefore, normality of the mixture is 10 milli equivalent upon 200 cc, which comes out to be 1 by 20 normal. So this is your answer. That is, whenever you mix together an acid with a base, the resulting mixture contain milli equivalent of the substance which is left over after neutralization per unit volume of the solution. And when it is represented in molars, because here this is normal in terms of form of normality, but when it is in molar, then you have to apply another formula. Last part. Now read it properly and understand the difference between second and third part. It is 100 cc of 0.1 molar H2SO4 with 100 cc of 0.1 molar NaOH. In the above case, it is in normal. Rest is same. Volume is same. This concentration is same, but the units are different. In the second case, it is expressed in terms of normality, but in this case, it is expressed in terms of molarity. And you have to find out the normality of the solution after mixing. If it is molarity, if you have to find out the molarity of the resulting mixture, then it is similar to the above second part. But as we have to find out the normality of the resulting mixture, so we have to do a little bit change in this case. Like normality, which is equal to number of gram equivalents present per liter of solution. Molarity is, you have read here, number of moles of solute present per liter of solution. And if it is this volume is not in liters, it is in cc, then we say number of millimoles of solute present in volume, which is represented in cc, cubic centimeter of solution. Here again, you are provided with volume and molarity. This molarity and volume is given to you. You can easily find out this number of millimoles. So number of millimoles of H2SO4. It is equal to molarity into volume. Molarity is 0.1 into volume is 100, which is 10 millimoles. Similarly, number of millimoles of NaOH. It is 0.1 into 100. So again this is 10 millimoles. Since you have to find out the normality of the resulting mixture, if you have to find out the molarity of the resulting mixture, then you simply because this is 10 millimoles, this is 10 millimoles, they cancels out. So molarity is that means they neutralize each other. As a result, molarity is same as that of this molarity is 1 because no solution is left over. But as you have to find out the normality of the solution, and we know that normality. So normality, we know that normality is equal to molarity into n factor, and n factor I told you that it is either acidity or basicity. So here number of milli equivalents of H2SO4 is equal to, because I told you that normality is equal to number of milli equivalents upon volume, and since we have to find out the normality of the mixture, so number of milli equivalent of H2SO4 is molarity, that is 10 millimoles into n factor. In this case, sulfuric acid, when we dissolve this, the basicity for H2SO4 is 2 because it releases 2 H positive ions. So it comes out to be 20 now milli equivalent, not millimoles, milli equivalent. Similarly, number of milli equivalents of NaOH is 10 millimoles into its acidity. Since NaOH has only one OH negative, so its acidity is 1. So number of milli equivalents is 10 milli equivalents. Now in the resulting mixture we have 20 milli equivalents of acid and 10 milli equivalents of base. When they undergo neutralization or when they undergo mixing, 10 milli equivalent of NaOH will react with 10 millimoles of H2SO4. As a result, sum of H2SO4 left over. Therefore, number of milli equivalent of H2SO4 left behind is equal to 10 milli equivalent, because out of 20, 10 is used. So it is 10 milli equivalent. Total volume of resulting mixture is, we take here 100 cc of H2SO4 and 100 cc of NaOH. So it is 100 plus 100, that is 200 cc. Now normality of resulting mixture is equal to, according to this formula, it is equal to number of milli equivalent, which is 10 upon volume in cc, that is 200, or 1 by 20 because it is normal, so normal, or gram equivalent per liter. Now this is all about these three parts, and this numerical is very important from examination point of view. So students, with this we covered all the numericals based on different concentration terms. In all these numericals I covered all the concentration terms. So now you have to practice at your level. We will move towards next topic in the next video. Thank you students.